huge trend going on LinkedIn where demographic information on LinkedIn from female and whatever race to basically a straight white male, which we don't even know why LinkedIn's asking for my sexual preferences or identity, but there we are. And I am going to be the prime example because we saw kind of some women reporting increases, but we decided to actually test it out, put my business on the line to test this out. And here is some of the reports.
Hey, it's Dave Gerhardt. I spent my career in marketing going from PR intern to CMO, and now I spend my time running Exit 5, which is, in my opinion, at least the world's best community for B2B marketers. If you need a place to connect with your peers, get feedback on your work, or just make new friends in marketing, you should go and check us out. It's exit5.com. You can learn more.
All right, marketers, grab your overpriced standing desk and that oat milk latte you love so much, because welcome to Notorious B2B, the only show where we treat LinkedIn drama like breaking news and expose the real B2B marketing sins.
Yeah, think of us like SNL meets TMZ, but for the people who argue about whether gated content is still a thing or not. I'm Task Bober, B2B landing page nerd and lovable troll on LinkedIn.
And I'm Tim Davidson, the guy making TikTok-style videos and cutting fruit on LinkedIn. Together, we're cutting out nonsense and roasting the most ridiculous trends in B2B marketing.
Because if we have to suffer through another 10 things getting engaged taught me about B2B sales, we're taking you all down with us.
Let's get into it. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Vector, the tool that makes sure you're getting your ads in front of your exact buyers. Go check them out at vector.co. I promise you, your sales team will thank you.
Do you have anything to say to me today?
I do. Check it out. Happy 50th birthday. Woo!
That is actually an improvement from the 60th birthday comment you left on my post today.
I didn't think that was believable. So.
Oh, but 50 is? Nice. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, so kicking off today, I want to do a big old, he has a kazoo, by the way, that is clearly not working. And, right? There it is. Okay. As a birthday gift to myself a couple weeks ago, I don't know if anybody remembers this from the last episode, but there's this huge trend going on LinkedIn where women are changing their demographic information on LinkedIn from female and whatever race to basically a straight white male, which we don't even know why LinkedIn's asking for my sexual preferences or identity, but there we are. We are here. So I changed it. We obviously talked about there's lots of factors involved in here. And I am going to be the prime example because we saw kind of some women reporting increases, but we decided to actually test it out, put my business on the line to test this out. And here is some of the reports. Tim's so excited to shred my reports. So
maybe, I don't know. Maybe not.
Maybe. Okay. The first thing to note is we did kind of a month comparison. So the posts from before I changed my status, which was 11/20, is when I changed my demographic information. And also from people who know me and know I posted that B2B Now music video, before you think that that's included in the post change, it's not. It's actually in the before. So I actually do have a lot of impressions from that one from before. Okay, that's kind of what triggered the whole thing. Is I'm like, oh, I wonder if I would have gotten more impressions on my B2B Now video, my music video, if I was a straight white male. Okay, so a couple things to note. That was before. Also, from the previous date, I'd only posted 16 times. But after I changed my demographics with the holiday and stuff that you had noted last time, you were like, you're going to go into the worst period for it, blah, 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 because people are going to be on vacation and your impressions are going to be down. It's not an accurate representation. And then I made it worse by not posting as much. So I only posted 11 times after I changed my status. Before that, it was 16 times. So I also had a higher volume of posts before. Now, okay, impression performance comparison. For the 16 posts that I did before, my average impressions per post was 729 impressions.
Yeah.
What?
16 posts?
Out of 16 posts, my average impressions was 728 impressions.
Per post?
Yeah, on average. My highest one was 3833, it says. You think it's fudging?
I can promise you get more than 1,000 impressions every post.
I don't know if I have been, though.
Yes, you do.
You
I know
think
your
I do?
follower count. I've seen
I
your
know
engagement.
Okay, first of all, follow account has nothing to do with it.
It can, though.
Okay, it
It
can. It
does
can.
help.
Okay. Okay.
I
Let
know
me
for a
finish.
fact. I'm sorry, but I know for a fact you get over 1,000 impressions in each post.
Okay. We'll check the numbers. So here's what it is. It's doing 4 weeks prior, 16 posts, average impressions 728. That's what it's saying. That's what it's saying. 4 weeks after 1120, average impressions 11,000. Obviously, 4 weeks have not passed. It's only been 14 days since I changed my status. So 2 weeks. So the key takeaway here, also this is all ChatGPT, so it could be like fudging up my numbers. So it says your impressions increased 16 times when adjusting for post volume. So initially I was like, hey, make sure that you're taking the same window of posts and not like, hey, you posted 40 times before and therefore your total impressions are obviously going to be higher. I'm like, make sure it's as accurate as possible by making it an apples to apples comparison. And so it says your impressions increased 16 times even when adjusting for post volume. Before it was 18 times. And so it says a 9.3 increase in the middle of your distribution, a very strong signal, basically. And then it says, but your after period contains one extreme outlier. So I had one post that did 85,000 impressions. And I have a big note about this one. You know who commented on this post?
The
Dana,
Ketty
Dana,
Dosey boy.
Dana, da, da, da. Yeah.
Ketty Doser.
It was Chris Walker had commented on this post, and he's also commented on my last like 4 posts or something. I think he loves me now, to be honest, but
Probably because
whatever.
you're a white male now.
Not buff, probably because I'm a straight white man. And so he has commented on there. Dave also commented on that 85,000 post. So that one could be skewing the numbers too. But it removed that post then and said, okay, so if we remove that outlier, then you're 4 times above your average impressions instead of 16, which is also then a significant difference there.
Is it counting your reposts as posts?
Why would you think that? No, this is only based
I'm
on
asking.
impressions.
I don't know. I'm looking.
No.
So I'm looking through your feed, your posts, and
Yeah.
I do see in the prior period you
Yeah.
had a lot more reposts of posts
Okay.
than not. I'm
No,
just saying reposts suck.
they do, but it's purely. Oh, you mean my reposts? Like when
You
I'm reposting
reposting,
someone else's?
is it counting it as a post? Because those suck.
No,
Always.
because I don't get the impression data for those reposts. Only the original
Gotcha.
poster
Okay.
does. You know what I mean? So when I extracted this information from LinkedIn, it was the export function and I only did impressions, not engagements. So it wouldn't count like all the engagements, all the comments, none of that. It's just pulling impressions. So then I said, okay, so is the demographic change the cause? It said, we cannot prove causation, but here's what the data suggests. The demographic change coincides with higher average impressions, higher median impressions, more consistent breakout posts, a massive outlier in the following weeks, no change in posting frequency, and no evidence of improved writing quality. Fucking thanks, ChatGPT. On the same exact day. The probability that this happened randomly is low, given the identical content strategy from you, given a sudden dramatic shift, given that the only change was profile demographics. It's reasonable to assume that demographic bias, even if subtle, may be playing a role. This is very consistent with created discussions about LinkedIn's distribution bias, algorithm favoring profiles that appear professional archetype aligned, gender and race coded perception in corporate oriented networks.
What was the time frame for the before again?
The before was October 23rd to November 19th, and then we went November 20th to December 18th, which obviously we're not anywhere near December 18th. So
When did you go to Amsterdam?
I was in Amsterdam the week of October 13th. So it's after the
those don't
period
count.
it's considering. Yeah, it's not counting that.
Okay. Well, I would say that your post quality has increased.
Okay.
Just saying. If I'm looking at blind's eye here, just looking at the posts, your post quality has increased. I'm not
From when?
From
When I changed my demographic information?
probably around, I don't know when exactly the date, and I can't, because it,
Yeah,
how
go
like
ahead.
3 weeks or it
Yeah.
only shows you 3W or whatever. I
Yeah.
would say there is a drastic change like right after Amsterdam posts. And
Yeah, it's all the
then
infographics from when I worked with Vince, who helped me with the infographics. And you're talking about those, right? The infographic posts.
Those are different, yeah. But then you
Yeah.
also have like a bunch of posts on like you made some fun of some glute guy, and
Yeah,
like just your
that's the one that
content
got
was better.
the glute guy was the one that got 85,000
Mm,
impressions. But it's also one where Chris Walker had commented. And then I had
mm.
another one where Chris Walker commented, and it was about my testimonial, the one about imposter syndrome. And he had commented on that one too. I don't know if he was saying that I was copying someone's work or that he was saying that I was in the stage where people are copying my work or what. Anyway, either way, whenever he comments, he gets like thousands of impressions. And so he did that.
Okay. What I'm gonna say is I don't know, and I'm gonna say you need to let me analyze it with a Google sheet. You need to give me the data and let me dig.
Okay, fine.
That's
So
what I
we'll
would
do a
say.
third circle back on this.
Yeah. You
You
might not be wrong. You might
you
not be
don't
wrong.
trust you don't trust GPT.
I do not. I do not. I do not trust it. It's not. It has no idea what it's talking about.
It's true. It loves to just lean into whatever bias you've put in there. So when I first asked it to do this exercise, I didn't give it any context about why I changed my demographics. I didn't tell it that I did change my demographics. I just said, hey, based on this attached spreadsheet, how have my posts performed after 1120 compared to the posts before in terms of impressions? And it said, before 1120, you had 39 posts and your average impressions was 646 per post. Posts after 1120, you only had 11 and your average impressions were 11,635. And so
Mm.
your impressions increased by roughly 18 times. It's not a small jump. It's a major inflection point. And this could mean, and it gave me a list of things. Your content strategy shifted. LinkedIn's algorithm is rewarding your topics more. One viral post increased your baseline reach, which did happen. More follower growth leading to upgraded distribution. You just hit a streak of high shareability posts. Thanks, GPT. Basically, tell me I
Could
got
be.
freaking lucky. And now it's like, do you want to create a framework engine to share with other people on how
Oh,
to
jeez.
increase
That thing's
visibility?
rude.
Yeah, the framework is go to your settings, change it to straight white male, and maybe that's where
That would be a funny post.
yeah, duh.
Comment.
Comment
Yeah.
white for the framework, and I'll send it over to you. Hint, hint.
Yep. Well, all right. We'll come back to it. I mean, I love me some devil's advocates because there was that one post from Daniel Herrera who said like, look, there might be some algorithm changes, but there is a streak of people that do it, talk about it on LinkedIn, which goes wild. All those posts
Yes.
go wild. And then the rage bait comes, and then you kind of do like a recap like we're doing right now. And then that kind of skews the data, which it does.
Yes, but I had one outlier. We'll remove that from the data. Two, I never rage baited or talked about this outside of this podcast. So those two things we're not letting that apply to me and seeing if that's also still the case.
Yeah.
So now I told it, hey, it's not fair to compare 16 posts to 11. Do the same number of posts, remove the outlier, and give me the averages. So it said in the before group, so the 11 posts before 1120, it was 857 impressions on average. The after group, which is the 11 posts after 1120, removing the outlier, we have average impressions of 4,225.
I don't trust
That's a 5 time
GPT.
increase.
I just can't trust it.
Fine. Okay.
Been too much.
Okay, fine.
Let's move
Tim
on.
is going to do manual analysis on this. Is this what you do for your clients?
Oh, you
Manual
have
analysis?
no idea how crazy I am. I try to predict every question because the questions will come up. So I'm the worst to show data.
Okay. This is a new side of you. I kind of like it.
It's fun. Data's
Okay,
fun.
fine. All right. We will follow up again with a third circle back where Tim disputes the numbers that ChatGPT and I have come up with.
Shit, if this is right, don't get me wrong. We'll start a new podcast and we'll call it like a documentary type of thing. It'll be great. It'll be awesome.
Okay, but while we're on the subject, there are a couple of people who have posted about this outside of me. And the summaries of their posts are one is Megan Cornish, and she says, I changed my gender to male on LinkedIn a week ago and my views went up 400%. So she saw some changes there. obviously then these are the things that people are like rage baiting, right? That this is what they're considering rage baiting. So she posted this, she got 5,000 reactions, 731 reposts, right? So people are going kind of nuts here, talking about, oh, fun, yet another way for women's voices to be suppressed. Thanks for calling this out. I'm also now a mister to run the experiment. Everyone's testing this stuff, right? Okay, that's one person. Then we have Simone Bonnet. Day 2 of being an undercover man on LinkedIn, and it's wild how quickly the gender bias shows itself. And she basically changed her name to Simon without the E, I guess, and so made it Simon.e. Saw a 2,000% increase in impressions. Or what was this? Profile views are up 2,000% and impressions are up 3,000%. That's that person. Now, there are then the other set of arguments on LinkedIn, which is about the trend itself and how it's actually just hurting women. It's also, I mean, it's just coincidental timing because of it being Trans Visibility Week. And so they're saying, you did this right when the US administration announced passports for trans people must reflect their birth assigned sex. And you did it while trans people, your coworkers, colleagues, or friends are being attacked and legislated against for simply existing. Instead of speaking about any of that, you change your gender mark on your profile pic for fun. So obviously I'm part of this and I feel attacked. But basically got, almost 1,100 reactions, 119 reposts, basically saying, yes, sure, the algorithms are biased. I mean, this is not new news, but you're hurting yourself and others when you're doing this. I will be changing mine back just so everybody knows. This is purely an experimentation numbers game, but it is interesting to then see, what the data is like as well. But that's kind of two sides of the same coin because we are the B2B press and we have to do both sides, right?
Yeah, we'll get down to it. It's funny though, Simone one, Simon, hers got picked up by the Guardian, and so I'm
Ooh.
sure that gives you some boost, in the reach there.
Yes, absolutely.
Whatever.
Okay, we will report back. Now,
Yeah.
moving to our next segment.
Just flagging.
Okay, what do we have here? What do we have with just flagging?
We got some Reddit chaos or Reddit
Ooh.
fudgery, I guess you can call it.
Fudgery.
So I saw someone post about this. They were like, we've seen this all the time, but there's companies on Reddit making up stories essentially, and then following up with a kind of sales pitch, I guess. So I did some digging and found one that is very telling here. It was posted in RSAS, but they were posting about the headlines, AI SDR is a scam. And they go into this whole story about how they paid $2,000 for an AI SDR. It booked them 0 demos. Now stuck in this 2-year contract that they can't get out of. They're showing like the math and all that and all this stuff. So first half, it's telling the story, right? This is the classic Reddit stuff. People love this stuff. I love reading about this stuff. Second half goes into the pitch. It's telling you, all right, here's why booking a demo is complex with these things. And here's what actually works, which is talking about their tool. And then at the end, it says, by the way, here's a little gift, a list of 100 AI directories where you can promote your business for free. So they're basically just promoting their business.
No.
So it's classic. And they posted this not just in RSS. They posted this in a bunch of other communities on Reddit. Now, here's what's funnier, because you do that on LinkedIn, no one cares. No one gives a crap. You do that on Reddit, you get called out.
Oh, yes.
Another day, another AI product being advertised with a fake story. This is sad. Hopes the AI bubble bursts soon. Oh, this was just a sales pitch for OP startup. Blah, blah, blah. Someone talking about 11X. You just get roasted. Absolutely roasted. Thanks for the pitch, ChatGPT. Reddit comes to the PSA. This is an ad. You're a scam, not promoting. Yeah, don't do it on Reddit. Just don't do it.
Yeah, Reddit. I will say this, which is LinkedIn's getting braver about calling people out on this stuff. But then if you do that, you're just like this vigilante on LinkedIn. But on Reddit, you are going to get absolutely shredded. I've seen people do LinkedIn posts, take that, put it on Reddit verbatim. They don't change anything. They just put this post trying to be helpful. And for some reason, even when I see it in a Reddit context, I get so irritated. I'm like, you're just trying to sell me something. Mm-hmm. This is fake. This is posturing, whatever it is. I see it on LinkedIn and it's like, I'm desensitized. It's like, that's what I'm expecting from the platform. And I always talk about method and mode. and you have to be in this mode to consume, I want to see ratchet content on Reddit. I don't want to see put together like formatting with the bullets and like
Mm.
these fucking sad sob stories that, people are saying and then ending with a pitch. It's so grimy. It's so grimy. And I don't actually know why we accept it on any platform, but on Reddit, it's like, no, it's like my house. Don't come to my house and sell me. It's like business and work, you know?
Well, the thing I love about Reddit is everyone's a researcher as well. So if you post on LinkedIn, no one's going to check out your profile. No one cares. They just
Yeah.
like take it at face value. On Reddit, the amount of times you see comments, like you see a story in a community, and then you see the comments, and they're calling them out, and they're like, they basically went to this person's profile, looked at what they've posted in the past, looked at like the last year, like what they actually put in the last year, like, oh, you were posting this for someone else. I saw this somewhere else. They always have the greatest like memory because they saw it in another community for sure. And they always call them out. I just love it. It's the
It
best.
so it's funny because for my clients, as part of my research stage, I actually go see what people are saying about their company or their product category on Reddit. I do it all the time.
Mm,
So just yesterday, I met with one of my clients and I went there and I said, okay, so I went, looked up your company, looked up the product category. You mentioned once in the product category one with this like very detailed review. So then I looked up the person who wrote it and I was like, either this person works at your company and they're just answering as if they were the ICP, or they just are a really huge advocate for your company. And I was
mm,
talking to the client's like, yeah, he used to work here as an implementations guy and he's not here anymore, but he used to be rampant on Reddit just trying to kind of, which I'm like, good for him. You need someone like
yeah.
that at every company to do that. But I'm exactly the same way. If someone gives an answer on Reddit, I never take a face value. I'm like, I need to go see what this guy's history is all the time, all the time.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That's funny. Don't TLDR, don't put the same shit you would put on LinkedIn on Reddit.
Don't do
Not
it.
the same. Yeah. We have far less appetite for it. Next story. This one is actually a super funny one. And I know you have opinions on it, but I'm going to walk people through this. So, this lady, Jennifer Ortiz, senior
Mm.
product manager, she said, I am now 500 plus applications in and not one single callback. I've decided on my next step. I will be formally submitting data requests to every company I've applied to. It's legal to submit these requests regardless of companies possibly saying no. So I'll be asking for all my stored personal information, resume data, copies of assessments, any automated scoring tied to regulated AI, their data retention policy, automated decision making was used, and if it was, et cetera, et cetera. So applicants, she's basically saying applicants have every right to see what those systems did with their information. This is part of the law in some countries, maybe not all of it, but this is what she's going to spend time doing. Got 1,600 reactions, 61 reposts, and people saying, yeah, time to have a wall of shame, displaying a running list of companies engaging in these like terrible ghost jobs, that kind of stuff. I actually think that's funny and a very creative way to receive comms from a company. Obviously, she's not going to get hired there or be interviewed there, but you can tell if there's a real person sitting behind them, you were blatantly ignored. It's an interesting way to nudge them for some kind of comms. But you have thoughts on this. Let me hear it.
Well, look, I have all the sympathy in the world right now.
Do you?
All
Okay.
the sympathy in the world. It's tough out there to find a job. I get it. But if you apply 500 times and you get zero, zero. She said, not one single call back, not even a interview, not a call back. 10 times, that's on them. 500 times, it's on you. I mean, you got to be doing, I'm sorry, but you have to be doing something wrong. Unless you're lying about the post. There's that.
That's always a
Always that.
possibility.
Or
Yes.
exaggerating. And there's a difference between exaggerating between 50 and 500, by the way. So
Yeah.
don't, I'm just saying. And because and it's not just Jennifer Ortiz. I'm sure Jo is a great person. I've seen a lot of these other posts too. They're like, I've applied to 476 and I got nothing back.
Yeah.
At some point, it's on you. Like you're either applying to things that you're not even close to being resume
Qualified
built for. Yeah, you're just not even
Yeah.
close to it. Or like, what do you like fix something? Like try something different. Like, are you not following up? Like, what is going on? There's something wrong. There has to be.
Do you agree with the logic though, where She says, if employers don't want to give feedback, the least they can give is the data that they collected about my application and how it was rendered in their system. So she's also trying to get to the bottom of like, how was my stuff used? Did the ATS just automatically remove me for whatever reason? Were there keywords and that kind of stuff? And I don't know much about the laws here. I know that data retention policies and data sharing and GDPR and stuff, like people have right to be removed from comms lists and be told that like how their information's being used. But I don't know if she's going to get that level of detail. But it's almost like you're like, I love going back to dating analogies because I feel like it's simple for the brain to understand. But it's like, you go out on a date with a bunch of dudes, everybody ghosts you, and you're like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And you are trying desperately to get to the bottom of it. And it's like, what if it's something weird and like you don't, it's like you're better off not knowing what that is. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like if they're all like, oh God, she stinks or whatever. But it's like, what if there's something? I get this is a work setting or whatever. It might just be that she's not qualified or yeah, she's applying to jobs that are not anywhere near her realm of, 500 applications. I feel like you're definitely straying outside the confines of your expertise. You're at that
Yeah.
trying to get some kind of like livelihood going.
Yeah. I mean, to her post, like legally, this might be all true. Like, and if you request it, they might have to give you it. I can promise you that unless you make it a law, they're not going to give it to you just willy nilly. They're not going to, because people are going to start gaming the game. That's how people run. They game the
Hmm.
game. Like if you start giving out that data, they're going to post it on LinkedIn and people are going to start gaming it. Should she try to get all this information from them? Why spend your time on that?
Yeah.
Spend your time trying to get a
Well,
job.
true. I mean, at that point
What?
too, it's like, what else are you doing? She's done the application thing. She's like, whatever. I guess I'll spend my Sunday evening asking these companies to give me my information back. That would be painful, sending emails to each one of them. But, I hope she does a follow up and we'll see how many responses that she gets from
I'll
any
give
of
her a
these
tip.
companies.
I'll give her a tip.
Oh,
Reach out to the people at the companies and ask just to like talk to them, like just buy them coffee, whatever it is. Don't spend time asking for the data back. Don't do that.
yeah, yeah.
Just spend time figuring out something. Change up, take your resume and just completely change it up.
And just run an
Completely.
A/B test.
Just try something completely new. Do
Yeah.
not spend time on that or make more ornaments. And then make ornaments for all the application companies that you're doing. And I don't know, send it to them. Try something.
Ornaments?
She said at the end, she's making ornaments.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Good for her.
Okay. Moving on to next segment.
Hey there, Jess Cook, head of marketing at Vector here. And anyone who listens to Tass and Tim on Notorious B2B is a friend of mine. So I'm going to hold your hand while I say this. Native targeting is filling your funnel with ghosts. Wouldn't you rather put your ad dollars toward, I don't know, people on your website, clicking your ads, researching your competitors? I know I would. Vector lets you build ad audiences from those exact people. Unlike native targeting, which gatekeeps that shit, only letting you pick like some titles and industries and then just trusting them to show your ads to the right people. Boo. Okay. Rant over, go to vector.co and get your ad audiences right.
Let's noodle.
Okay, what do we have here? What's happening with
All
this?
right. This one I thought was interesting because essentially it was going to be a fun name, a very, very fun name. All right. So Nicole J. Beebs Basil
Okay.
basically put out a post saying that, wherever she's working, she's a social media expert. She was asking influencers for their rates. And one of the influencers said it was 4K for one reel. I'm assuming it's an Instagram reel. And then she goes on to say, imagine studying, building a career, managing budgets, blah, blah, blah. And only to discover that someone earns more than you with a 12 to 15 second video. 4K, and it's 4K, I think it was pounds or, I don't know, it's just 4K. And she's basically saying, no shade to influencers, honestly good for them. In the industry logic that cracks me up. Apparently the real ROI lives in ring lights, not in the 100+ strategy decks I lost sleep over. At this point, I'm wondering if I should stop managing campaigns and start starring in them. I thought it was an interesting topic because we do both. We run businesses and we have done influencer posts. Shit ain't easy, by the way. It's not like you can just do that and get 4K. I would say to her, do it. Like, why not go be an influencer then?
Yeah, it's not that easy to do. I think that's the biggest thing is there's this misconception. And I always joke in some of my posts too, and I'm like, you can call us cringy, You have these ideas, and it's always like Dave Gerhardt always says, it's always the the people who are the haters are the ones who don't do it or too scared to
Yeah.
do it. They're always the ones that are hating. So it's easy to say, it's like those posts that are like, oh, the real marketers are the ones who are, not talking about it. They're actually doing the work. I'm like, cool. And then when they get laid off, where are they going to go? They don't have a reputation. No one knows who they are. And they can sit there and praise themselves all they want. You're kind of taking their word for it, and you don't know that, right? So that's the other piece, is like, it's not as easy as going and doing it. And I'll use my husband as an example because he made fun of me for an entire year of me doing this, right? Before I made a single dollar. Then when I made a little money, he was like, okay, whatever. And then he ended up getting laid off, and he's like, okay, I'm just going to go start writing on LinkedIn like tasks and it'll be fine. And he would post. Now he's been posting for like a little over a year, and it was nowhere near some of the growth that I had in the beginning and stuff, like the grinding, all that stuff. I was putting in a lot of work, time, and effort into the content. At first, he tried like, oh, I'm just going to use GPT to do it. Obviously, it's AI slop. He realizes his audience is just, way more technical. They're not like marketers where, we're chatty and talking about all these ideas and stuff. Fine, it is easier. But also to think that the content is then easy to make, that 12 to 15-second video, how much footage are you shooting? How much
Yeah.
like thought and creative process goes into it? I did that post for Vector and their new bid agent, the one that we did last week. And that took me, it was text, and I'd asked her for a product screenshot. She had provided us with some other ones, which were like the ghost, with the BOGO, buy one, get one free. And I'm like, well, I wrote the post out. I'm like, it's going to look better with a product screenshot than that. So I went back, I requested a different image to go with the post. And the actual post I wrote without AI, and it took me an hour and a half, just a text post, right? Because I went back, I wrote out the initial draft, re-edited, did all of these things. And so that's where it's like 100% writing, creating content, all of those things are a skill. It's a skill. And you have to learn, be really good at it, try different things. You're not going to just plug into GPT and be like, okay, you magically have something that's just going to be immediately be shareable. And then you do videos. Like, I remember some of your earlier stuff when you were doing it for like Zoom info and stuff, and your creative skits and doing it with no, like, you know how much time and effort it takes than like shooting that, then editing it. So by all means, Jezebel or whatever your name is, go and try. Go and try.
Yeah, please. It's also not for the faint of heart, because what she's not thinking about is, yeah, they're putting out the rate of 4K, but you know how inconsistent that is? Like, some creators, yes, they're going to have one every day, but you can't do a brand partnership every single day.
No.
So like it's very inconsistent in the sense of like, there's gonna be times you don't have anyone coming inbound, especially depending on, how big your following is or not. There's actually another comment from the social media person at Liquid Death who's like, it hurts worse when one video is your entire salary, because the 4K, that's actually kind of small for some of these
Yes.
like B2C influencers. I thought that was actually funny too. Oh, but
Yeah.
also, like we were talking about the comments, LinkedIn is a special place for people that
Yeah.
are posting there. You post on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere else.
Oh,
Comments are brutal.
shark attack.
Yeah.
Shark
Brutal.
attack. Hike, she went out on her own, but then just like over the last year, she's been Heike, for anyone who doesn't know, she was like the head of content at Microsoft, Salesforce, etc. Now she's doing consulting on her own. Shout out. She just announced that. But over the last year, one of her experiments was to grow on TikTok. She just wanted to see how she would do on TikTok. And she's had, I think like a ridiculous amount of people following on LinkedIn. I think it's like is it 25,000 or 50,000? I don't know.
Way too many.
It's a lot. But she's known for like her corporate skits and stuff. And then on TikTok, she was trying to figure out the algorithm, and now she has like a ton of followers there. But it's insane because every week she'll send us a few screenshots of some random comments she'll get from there. People are saying like, oh, just an insecure person from this corporate company that couldn't hack the job, now coming here giving us advice on how to be more visible inside corporate America when she couldn't hack it. By the way, she quit. They did not fire her. She did not get laid off. So, it's just stuff like that where on LinkedIn, even if people think it, they would never say it because that anonymization factor doesn't exist. But yeah, it is brutal on those other platforms. You have to have extremely thick skin to be okay
Yeah,
with that. You know what I mean? But LinkedIn is just like a way nicer place. One
100%.
trick that you taught me about influencer marketing was because the inconsistency of performance as well, to always try to get kind of a package deal going, meaning do at least 3 posts for them because there's so many variables that help it perform better or worse. You do 1 post, you have 1 shot, 1 opportunity, like Eminem says. But if you have 3 shots, you have a higher likelihood of one of them doing better than the others and then collectively having more impressions as well. So that was always a smart thing that I took from you that I always propose to companies as well. But it isn't easy and it's not consistent income. So yeah, like you get the 4,000 one time, you may not see that ever again. So you don't know,
Yeah.
so shoot your shot.
And you're beholden to the algorithm.
Exactly. Okay. Moving
Moving
on.
on.
Moving on. Okay. So Jack Frimston, these
From
names,
Stein.
Frimstein,
Frankenstein.
he put out a poll, and this was very interesting. You sent it to me, and you're like, I have opinions on this, and it's not what you think. And he says, "'Tis the season to be jolly and all that, but is it appropriate to cold call on Christmas Day?" I obviously voted. You can see he has almost 1,200 votes. I said, yeah, it is not appropriate whatsoever to do it. But Tim, you have a different opinion. So why and how?
Let me state the fact here that I'm terrible at cold calling. I think cold calling is brutal. I think I have a lot of respect for people that do it, but I also hate you. So don't call me again. But what I would say is, why not call on Christmas? And here's why. No, listen. If someone called me today, I hate you. I'm not happy about the cold call. No one's happy about a cold call. It's just a fact. What's the difference between Christmas and not? The difference is people might actually pick up on Christmas because they're waiting, because whatever, they have kids and they're opening the presents and they get a call. It's a random number, but they might be thinking it's Grandpa V calling to say happy birthday, but he's got a different phone. He's using his home phone. It might be Uncle Jerry calling. It might be whoever it is. And they might pick up because of that. You start with a cold call. Are they going to be mad? Yeah, they are going to be mad every single day. Your connect rates might be better. And if you catch the right person who just got the shaver lawnmower 3000 from Aunt Susie, he's pumped. CEO's pumped right now. He's going to pick up the phone happy and be like, oh, shoot, you know what? I might actually need some cybersecurity tech. I'm in.
Maybe also they have some pity. It's like, I'm having so much fun with my family. This poor person is cold calling me.
Yeah.
I'll give him or her a break.
And depending when you call, like if you call like after noon, it might be an actual way, be like, oh, sorry, I gotta take this call, and like they get away from their family that they are dreading.
Oh, you know what? That's smart because on
bad.
Thanksgiving, I was so overstimulated. I even put a post out that's like,
See?
I'm in the bathroom and I have to escape in here every 10 minutes, every hour for 10 minutes just to like save my sanity. I would gladly be on the phone with someone just being like, oh, there's a very important work call. Sorry, I have to take it.
Yeah, exactly. And then lastly, there is so many good openers you can start with. Like, look, you can call and be like, hey, Jerry, like, I know I'm not Santa, but I got some presents for you. Here's why we save you on endpoint security protection, whatever, just a babble. But there's probably some puns you can be like, hey, I know it's Christmas, but I'm the Easter Bunny. Let's do something or whatever. There's something you could do. I should have came prepared with some good lines. Didn't. But there's probably something people could be very creative and come up with some good lines with it. Do it.
This is true. This is true. Like there are ones about coal that you can make,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think
or just being honest about getting away from your family. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm pretending to be a very important work call to get away from the overstimulation that is your family. You want to chat real quick?
you see, that was a good line. That was a great
Thank
line
you.
right there.
This is coming from 2 people who suck at cold calling.
Oh yeah, I was fired first 2 jobs. But you know what? I think everyone hates. Here's the thing: everyone's gonna hate you no matter what. Just call them on Christmas. Why not?
Oh my
It's
God.
just fact.
I'm
People
playing
hate cold
along.
calls.
Yeah, I'm playing along, but please don't call me on Christmas.
No, I'm not saying you call me. I'm just saying it could work though.
Yeah. So I think the question needs to be rephrased to, will your connect rates be higher on Christmas? Likely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Much
Yes.
more people are much more likely to pick up.
Yes.
It's just science.
But is it
People are much more.
appropriate? Is it appropriate? Is his question. And I would say it is absolutely not
Are cold
appropriate.
calls appropriate?
Ugh, that's a
No,
hard question.
not.
No, it's not appropriate, but it is effective. So,
Is it though?
I mean, one and no, what's the I mean, there are people who built entire businesses just doing cold outreach, so can't really say that it's not effective. As effective as an ad is.
Yeah, true. I mean, here's what I say: if you're not hitting quota, you better be on the phone on Christmas. If you're not, if you gotta hit quota, you better be on the phone on Christmas. It's just a world.
Oh, amazing. Okay.
All right.
Hey, I'm Sahil, CEO of Spiralize. We capture winning A/B tests from 78,000 websites, so we've learned a lot about what makes a site actually convert. This February, I'm teaming up with Anthony Pieri, Jess Cook, Rob Kaminsky, Taz Bober, and Chili Piper CEO Alina Vandenberg to host Above the Fold, a 2-day workshop first event for B2B SaaS marketers. No theory, no filler. Just hands-on help with positioning, content, and the website your buyers actually want. And because this isn't your typical conference, there will be no sad sandwich lunches, no cold wraps, no mystery buffet trays. We're bringing in legitimately great food, the kind you don't regret eating at a conference. Come build with us in Fort Lauderdale this February. All the details are at spiralize.com/above the fold.
Okay, Tim had to run off to a client call. We actually have, other work to do other than gossiping on a podcast.
Closed one.
I wanted to make sure that we were handing out our flowers to the closed one segment and people who won the internet this week. So the first thing is Ahrefs, Ahrefs. Can any SEO people tell me how to actually pronounce this? But we covered last time that Adobe bought Semrush, and Ahrefs have been going friggin' nuts with the promos, which is actually quite clever because it is a good time for that. And so last time their product marketer had put out something about a comparison video and said how they were better than Semrush. And this time the CMO of Ahrefs had said, you asked and we delivered. It says, ahrefs.com/goodbye Semrush. They actually made a landing page for this. And you can look at the landing page and it says here, Semrush got their exit. Maybe it's time for yours. Make the move to Ahrefs today and get 6 months free. But the super interesting part here is that he got 1,500 reactions, 187 comments, and 50 reposts, with our buddy Rand Fishkin, co-founder of SparkToro, with the first comment saying, ice cold marketing. I tip my hat to y'all. So just so for those who don't know, Rand actually was at Moz. He was one of the first guys that created Moz or something like that. So super interesting play here from a former competitor. So that one is Tim Saulo, CMO at Ahrefs. Brilliant play. We are here for it. B2B is definitely not boring. All right, next up we have Matt Firestone, who is doing a funny series where he's copying LinkedIn influencer selfies. And this is hilarious. Check this out. So he has a post here from Melissa Gaglione, who had posted this picture right here. Not sure what her original post is, but then he copied the same thing, but with Legos instead. And he says, day 4 of copying LinkedIn influencer selfies. Who should I do next? Follow me for more insightful sales tips. So this is a very interesting way to promote yourself with a fun series. Let's look at some other ones that he had put on. Here's another one that he has, and it says day 3, and he is copying Alex Hormozy. Hilarious. He does the beard, same shirt, a weird fist bump situation, 762 reactions on this post. And then he does another one where he's copying Zoe Hartsfield. She's actually quite famous on LinkedIn for the selfies, so it's hilarious that he painted his nails, did a bracelet and everything while he and a black and white picture just like her. 606 reactions. Man, maybe I should do something like this. And then his day one was copying. I actually don't know who this is, but he did the same thing. This guy is kind of almost spread eagle, got a city view behind him, a few plants, blue shirt and shorts. He's doing the same thing. It gets decent amount of reactions the first time. I love this. It's simple, effective in terms of getting some attention. Says his tagline here is helping SDRs turn cold outreach into booked meetings, proud cold caller, and dad 3 times. So only a dad could come up with jokes like this. So here for it. Kind of wish I thought about it first. So next up, we have Becca Chambers, CMO at Scale. And she says, I saw a Bay Area consignment store selling a tech company's used quiet pod, and I have one question. Would it be tacky for me to put one of these in my house as a personal break room for when I'm overstimulated and need a timeout for my family? Feels especially relevant on this post-Thanksgiving day. So she has a picture here of one of those tech pods. If you don't know what this is, these are those single phone booths that are usually in startup offices where you can go, someone can go in and either work or typically take Zoom calls in. Now they are in consignment stores, which is freaking hilarious. Tim actually said that he tried to do one of these, but they were super expensive and obviously the logistics of it all. For me, I kind of like the idea of this. I don't want the glass though, because the minute my children see me anywhere, it's game over. I mean, they're going to try to claw in, kind of like a zombie apocalypse. Like they're going to get in, right? So I need it to be a completely out of sight, out of mind situation. And if I am going to put something this large in my house, it's going to be like a sauna, which is what I've been hinting that my husband needs to buy me for Christmas. Then next we have Stephanie Owen. Man, LinkedIn is just so full of good ideas, right? Like doing this closed one segment, I'm like, bam, 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 bam. There's just so much good stuff. Who says we're boring? We're not boring. Look at this. Okay, Stephanie Owen. Most people obsess over optimizing their LinkedIn profiles to hit their career goals. But if you're not running funnel optimization and A/B tests on your Hinge profile too, what are you even doing? And she says, I'm Stephanie Owen, and I finally found a good use for dating apps. So here she has a screenshot of her on Hinge. It says Steph. She's got a nice little picture of her on top of a mountain. And in the bottom, it says, instead of grabbing drinks, let's, number 1, connect on LinkedIn. Number 2, engage with my posts on LinkedIn. Or number 3, take a LinkedIn course on how to have more effective one-on-ones. She got 835 reactions here, 157 comments. People thought this was obviously hilarious. And the top comment here says, hustle culture found its final boss. Insert theme song from laser tag final boss, with 66 reactions there. Hilarious. If I was still dating today, 100% I would be trolling the shit out of people on Hinge and other dating apps. Maybe I can still do it. I'll get permission from my husband and get back to everybody on that one. Final 2, stay with me. These are the last 2. So we have Justin Lee. LinkedIn is the only place where someone can write, I was laid off, divorced, and my house caught fire. And the top comment is, so inspiring. Thank you for sharing. It got 2,100 reactions, including me, 258 comments, 25 reposts. And it is so true. This goes back to what Tim and I were just talking about, where you post something like this on Reddit, you're shredded. That actually kind of rhymes. That's interesting. And then you post it on LinkedIn and it's LinkedIn inspirational, right? People are always so supportive and kind, which is also why we kind of love LinkedIn, even though we hate it and all the features. It's just been the best place for us to meet people. And then finally, we have Alec Paul, who says, as an emerging LinkedIn influencer, I wonder if I can get brands to pay me to not post about their product. $10,000 a month, and I won't talk about how awful your LinkedIn AI writing tool is. This one is so hilarious, and I had sent it to Tim because I was like, this is kind of what we do in Notorious B2B and what we kind of pitched our sponsors. If you come and sponsor us, not only will we not talk shit about you, but we'll talk shit about your competitors. Oh, we're probably never going to get sponsored again. All right. So before we sign off today, Tim's not here. So I'm going to take the opportunity to get in my fields a little bit. It is my birthday, and something that happened yesterday that was just so special is we started getting all these DMs and seeing posts with people tagging us saying that we were showing up in their Spotify Wrap. Obviously, my Spotify Wrap, Notorious B2B, is the #1 podcast, but you know that I'm doing it for QA purposes, so it's a little bit different, but it hits different when it's coming from other people who are choosing to spend their time with us. And so I just want to say a big, big thank you to you all. It means a lot to us. We have zero ambitions. We're not trying to be like, let's get to 2,000 listeners next month. We're just kind of here having fun. We're talking about stuff that we would have talked about if someone was or wasn't listening. And we're just glad that you are and you're here. We love hearing from you. We love getting the DMs. So please don't hesitate. Send us messages, send us stories. We love to cover stuff. But truly, truly, thank you so much. You made this an awesome first year of Notorious B2B. And if you are a regular listener, you know that we are launching a second podcast in 2026. We're going to start promos for it in December. For people who haven't been listening, they're going to be like, what? But you guys are the first to know. Hopefully you like that one too. That's more behind the scenes, but we're still bringing a lot of humor to that podcast. We will obviously continue to do Notorious B2B. It is my baby. It's our baby. And we hope to keep growing and hope to just have more listeners and more friends over the next year or so. But again, thank you so much for spending time with us. We truly appreciate it. And you've made my entire birthday, chat soon, retention.
All right, let's be honest. You probably didn't go to school for B2B marketing. I didn't. And that's exactly why we built Exit 5. It's now the top community for B2B marketers. You can learn more about our community and our in-person events over there at exit5.com, or at least join the newsletter. I read every message and I promise that if you reply, I will reply back. See you over at exit5.com.
Big thanks to Vector for keeping our ad dollars where they belong, in front of people that Seth would love to talk to. So stop donating your money to native ad targeting and start targeting your exact buyers with Vector.co.
And that's a wrap on Notorious B2B, where we expose the nonsense and remind you that most B2B marketing is just a very expensive guessing game.
Don't, and post a passive-aggressive LinkedIn poll about it. We'll still find you.
And if you have B2B drama we should cover, slide into our DMs. We accept screenshots, leaked internal memos, and questionable brand rebrands.
Until next time, keep your marketing unhinged and your LinkedIn bio free of the words growth hacker. See you later.
Later, skater.